2025 has been such an amazing year for gaming. We have been absolutely spoiled with new releases. And I just keep finding more gems to be excited about. Today, I want to talk about another one of those gems, which is actually just a demo at this point, but ended up being my latest hyperfixation, and that is the Trails in the Sky first chapter demo. Right away, I have to tell you, I have never played a Trails game. I am not familiar with the series at all, so I am coming at this from a place of absolute ignorance. But for some reason, when I saw this demo, someone was streaming it on my YouTube feed, and I knew that I had to check it out. I am so happy I tried it because something about it just clicked with me. I spent 13 and a half hours playing around in the demo, which when I say it out loud sounds absolutely absurd, but it was awesome. The demo covers the prologue of the game, which is set to release on September 19th for Switch 1 and 2, PC, and PS5. This game is a remake of a 2004 JRPG, The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. The game follows Estelle Bright and her adopted brother Joshua, who are training to become senior members of the Bracers Guild, a non-governmental crew that seems to dabble in all kinds of fun stuff, including doing pest control, search and rescue, criminal investigations, cooking, doing some bodyguard type stuff, all kinds of your typical RPG shenanigans. For me, this game is a true cozy game, and I know that term has been used and abused, but hear me out. Trails in the Sky first chapter is absolutely the coziest RPG I played this year, and it's still only a demo. You might be saying, an RPG, how could that be cozy? So let me explain. There seems to be this belief out there that a cozy game has to be combat free or it has to involve farming. But I don't agree with that. To me, a cozy game is more about the sense of immersion, the world building, that sense of place and atmosphere where you feel like you're actually there in the setting. And it just gives you that comfy, familiar, relaxed, cozy feeling, like it's somewhere you've been before. For me, coziness isn't tied to any particular genre or subject matter. Trails first chapter just hit all those notes of coziness for me. The buildings and environment are just perfect. It pulls off that quaint country village aesthetic with a steampunk influence and a touch of old Europe. I just adore the aesthetic of this game. It is absolutely beautiful. It's bright, colorful, sharp, and clean looking. Part of the reason that the demo took me so long, other than me just being trash at combat, is that I spent so much time just wandering around, exploring, looking in houses, checking out the buildings. Everything is just cute and beautiful and warm and has this comfy lived-in feeling. There's little animals, flowers, decorations, greenery. It's not hyper realistic or anything, but it all just works. I don't know how else to describe it. We also need to talk about the music in this game. It's beautiful, it's catchy, it's relaxing when it needs to be, it's exciting when it needs to be. The voice acting is also quite good. It's not fully voice acted, but I'm happy with how much is there. There is nothing awkward or annoying, nothing that bothered me at all about the dialogue or the voices. Everything was well acted in my opinion, and I thought the voices suited the characters well. Speaking of characters, we need to talk about Estelle. I love her. I adore her. She is the best. I love me a solid female main character that has personality, that isn't overly sexualized, who is more than just submissive eye candy. Estelle seems real. She's sassy, reactive, hot-tempered, and impulsive, but also really likable. Her adopted brother, Joshua, the other main character, is also very likable, and the dynamic between them I felt was very believable. I will say, I know where their story is going, even without reading any spoilers. Even in the prologue, it's not exactly subtle. I do think some people who are new to the series might be put off by this dynamic. It's a believable dynamic, and I'll leave it at that. You can make your own decision on how comfortable you are with it. The characters outside of Estelle and Joshua are also very likable. Even the hot mommy character with the whip is fun and enjoyable and comes across as a real person rather than just a pair of big assets. The NPCs and their side quests are so rich and detailed, and for me, That really added to the sense of this being a very alive world. When you take an NPC quest, you feel like you're helping real people. It's not just fight this, grab this, deliver this. I really felt for the people that are asking you for help. Their stories are interesting and the side quests felt really worthwhile. One quest, for example, was helping someone find their lost cat, and I'm still heartbroken that I went into the end of the demo without completing it. I didn't realize I was going into the final scene and then it was too late. Combat in this game is so much fun. I cannot remember the last time I had so much fun in combat in a game. It is a nice mix of the usual slash and mash and dodge action-based stuff, but then you can switch over to turn-based combat, which is also a blast. I don't usually love turn-based combat, but in this game I adored it. It's snappy, it's exciting, the different attacks are a lot of fun visually, the shape and positioning considerations of the different abilities added such a fun dynamic to it. The animations are smooth and quick, nothing is laggy, and you don't get that awkward standing around waiting for the enemy's animations to load. Everything just flowed. For some reason, I felt the need to try the Trails in the Sky Chapter 1 demo on normal difficulty. This was out of character for me. I usually play games on easy mode. I don't like getting sweaty. I like to just vibe, explore, and enjoy the story without that stress of being killed at any moment. But although I died a lot and found normal challenging, it was the fun kind of challenging and so rewarding when you finally beat that boss after a few attempts. The game also gives you the ability to lower the difficulty in game after you start at any point. And if you die in a battle, you are also again offered the ability to retry with weaker enemies each time you fail, which I totally appreciated. This makes Trails in the Sky first chapter really beginner friendly. Another thing that stood out to me about Trails of the Sky first chapter is how well designed this game is. The interface is clean, logical, uncluttered. Minimap is big. It's easy to access the main map with one click. You can equip purchased items right from the store screen. Your stats aren't buried. You can access your enemy's details with one button in the middle of combat. You can cook anywhere. You don't need a campfire or kitchen. Autosaves are abundant. There's lots of healing stations. Everything just seems really well thought out, incredibly tight and polished and shiny. I also love that there is full controller support right out the gate. I didn't need to fiddle around with remapping or Steam input or anything like that. It just worked. Performance was flawless on PC. I had zero glitches, zero crashes, no issues at all. Loading time between screens was lightning fast to the point that I couldn't even read the little tips on the screen. The camera was also perfect. It was buttery smooth. It did not give me a headache. It did not trigger any motion sickness. Just wonderful. Story progression is slow and it's very dialogue heavy. It takes a long time for things to build up and be revealed. But to me, I didn't see this as a fault. This is something I really enjoy in RPGs. It felt very slice of life and relaxed, but gave you enough to keep you intrigued. If you didn't pick up from my username, I am a casual gamer who generally prefers Western RPGs. I don't have any big issues with JRPGs. I've dabbled in them and enjoyed them. I just think that a lot of the times I'm not the target audience for them as a middle-aged straight woman. The themes, characters, and settings of the JRPGs that hit the mainstream don't really appeal to me most of the time. But for some reason, Trails in the Sky first chapter really drew me in. And I think the fact that someone like me loved this demo so much highlights the opportunity that the developers have here to really expand the audience for this series. I think if they market right, they can grab some more people like me who are more casual gamers with more mainstream tastes. I'm sure there are many hardcore fans who don't want a bunch of normies invading their fandom, but I don't care because to me, this feels like the perfect game for those who like their RPGs a little slower, a little more story and character driven with a comfy, cozy setting, who maybe want to branch out from their typical cozy games. It feels high stakes but low stakes at the same time, if that makes any sense. Like I said, it's story heavy. There are quite a few cutscenes, and the story seems to be a bit of a slow burn. Overall, I would encourage anyone who's even remotely curious about Trails in the Sky First Chapter to check the demo out. Even if you don't think you like turn-based combat or any combat, or maybe you think JRPGs are too hard to get into, you may still enjoy this game. I know I certainly did. I would also say do not be intimidated by the combat or by the difficulty of this game. I managed fine on normal. I know it's going to take me a long time to master the combat, and I'm not anywhere near there yet, but I still loved it. So all this to say, if the combat is intimidating to you, you shouldn't be intimidated. It's very beginner friendly. To me, it was that just right level of challenge. Overall, Trails of the Sky First Chapter was out of the ordinary for me, something I didn't think I would enjoy, but I ended up loving it. 13 and a half hours sunk into a demo later, I'm ready to pick this up on day one when it releases on September 19th.